Hey there, Truth Seekers. It's me, Nosferatu DJ Darren 2056. I believe they've come to the realization, as much as we have, they know that we know, and they just keep on putting out more and more panic and chaos and disorder and all these man-made disasters and catastrophes going on around the world. Everything evil in the world, we all know about it. It's in our face 24/7. That's the way they want it. You remember these glasses? They showed the world for what they really were, for what it really was in the movie called They Live. The problem there was he has the glasses on too long and he starts to have bad side effects, like getting sick and depressed and anxious and all these other weird side effects. Pretty much what truther faces all the time, with all the depressing crap that we have to face all the time. Well, don't you think that's what they want it to be like? They put out the information so much that we're constantly consumed by hate for them and wanting to change and all that kind of stuff. Well, how about we go back to what we really should be thinking about, you know? I'm talking about our spirit, our soul, about natural things, like the pineal gland.
31 seconds and we're gone for auto sequence start.
Pineal gland is a wondrous part of the brain that is very misunderstood. This is sometimes called the third eye. Well, it is, in a way. Anyway, with that, I'm talking about opening up your mind, opening up your soul, opening up your body. Forgetting about all the worries in the world. How about looking into ayahuasca? This stuff, people have it and they change their lives. Like, CIA done research into it, and there were CIA operatives that would take it, and once they've taken it, they'd quit their job. They would have a complete realization and stop living the way they were and stop being evil. They would go back and they would start living their life naturally. It's time to wake up our minds, our bodies, our souls, get into these frequencies. Listen to this. This is a little extract from the truth frequency.
Dr. Edie Frickska will be joining us. He co-authored Inner Paths to Outer Space with Dr. Rick Strassman, Dr. Luna, and one other doctor that I don't have the name in front of me, but it's just an absolutely amazing book. They go into so much detail about using DMT, contacting alien beings through DMT, and basically the title says it all, Inner Paths to Outer Space. And what I find most interesting is that this isn't some kind of 60s hippie movement going on. These are doctors, these are psychiatrists, neurologists who are starting to experiment with this DMT and realize, wait a minute, these shamans that have been using this for thousands and thousands of years, they're really onto something with its healing properties. And of course, we're talking about the brew ayahuasca, but you know, even smoking it, or like Dr. Rick Strassman was doing, injecting it. However, I don't recommend that anybody injects it at all, because you can't get it pure enough to inject it and be safe. But, you know, let me just make this disclaimer too. I don't recommend that anybody does it, period, because it is a Schedule 1 narcotic. And it is a Schedule 1 narcotic for a reason, because they don't want your mind open in that sense.
No, they don't want that. That's why the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry Schizophrenia Research Project decided to fund the study in the first place, because they want to have a complete handle on this. If this gets out to the general public, then the general public will realize that they have the entire cosmos in their brain, and they can access God without using any dogma, without using any kind of religious rules. And it would be so freeing to humanity to have this, but they don't want you to have it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What I found most interesting was when we interviewed Dr. Strassman, we got on the topic of the pineal gland and the possibility that DMT actually is created by your pineal gland. And he kind of veered away from that. He said the Buddhists didn't want him talking about that because, I think Stephen Greer kind of validated what he said, though, because in the Buddhist tradition, they believe that you should get to these places through very strict meditation. But DMT experience is like 20 years of strict meditation. I mean, that's how deep it takes you. So I don't want to, I do want to validate what he said on that perspective, but we found out his research was funded by the Scottish Rite.
Right.
So they are very, very interested in the pineal gland, and so if they're interested in the pineal gland, I'm interested in the pineal gland, because if they want to keep that knowledge from me to control me, well, I want that knowledge so I can't be controlled. Anyways, we're going to see you on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. This is Truth Frequency on Polygraph Radio, and we'll be right.
So yes, as you heard in that little video, they don't want you to open your mind. They don't want you to awaken any part. No way would they want you to. Doing that, you'd be free. They don't want you free. They want you living in fear. They want you constantly living in fear. It's time to break free. Break free of their control. Don't let it consume you. Research if you like, but don't let it consume you. Remember, they want you to keep on researching and finding out more and more and more and more, when you really should be looking into your own spiritual side. There's nothing wrong with researching at all. I do it most of the time myself. But we need to stop and put aside time for ourselves. We need to start examining why it is they are keeping us asleep, keeping us away from all of these kind of so-called drugs. Anyway, that's my little spiel about my, coming to a realization. Wake up, people.